I'm building a healthy underwear brand to protect your balls, and this is day 12 of building Happy Johnsons. So today we're gonna walk through our branding and completely reveal everything that we have had done to bring our brand to life. And as mentioned yesterday, our website that we paid a good chunk of money for did not come out great. That was pretty devastating, but we're gonna walk through it together so you can see what we mean. Let's do it. Just take it in. This is design. It doesn't look completely bad. It doesn't look like an amateur made it. But it's certainly not good either. It's definitely not good. It's just very, very simple. And granted, we don't have a final product, but there's not even really much to allow us to position the product in the way that we want. And then I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that this really doesn't look much like the examples that he sent us.
Yeah, definitely does not look like the examples he sent us at all. And like, since I design websites and I research about conversion rate optimization and stuff, I know that this website probably wouldn't be as highly converting as the other websites.
Yes.
That, or at least the website he sent as inspiration.
This looks like a newsletter, not a website.
Exactly. Like, I see BPA-free underwear designed to protect your Johnson. Shop now, and then the underwear. This doesn't look like an actual brand. Like, if you see sites like Gymshark, or like even other e-commerce sites like Snow White Teeth Whitening, the Hoodie, different types of e-commerce websites, they have like a clear benefit here. BPA-free underwear isn't a benefit, it's a feature. And on top of that, we're not just selling BPA-free underwear. We're selling far more than that.
100%.
So definitely I would change this. Designed to protect your Johnson. That's just so, like, I don't know. It feels like we could just remove that, honestly. It's just so broad, and so, like, if someone goes to the website and they don't know what Happy Johnson is, they're going to have no idea they're just going to think we're selling underwear. And that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of scattered all over the place. It doesn't really seem like there's a clear value prop. And I think the biggest thing that you're saying here is that if you get someone to your website, you really only have potentially one chance to convert them. And so your website should be designed and optimized to basically overcome any possible objections, really position the product as the potential solution to a problem, and then get them to buy at that time of visiting. And that this website would not achieve that.
No, it would have terrible conversion rate. The whole, like what Ben said, like the point of the website is to introduce your value proposition as soon as possible, like above the fold. This is what people are going to see. Only this section here is what people are going to see. They're going to be the first impression of Happy Johnsons and the brand. They're going to see that and they're going to be like, damn, okay, this is like, what is this website about? And then they're just going to leave.
He also, this is unrelated to the website, but like a lot of the product mock-ups that he did, like he did them conceptually in the bid. And so I was like, oh, like they look great, but he didn't even ask us the question of like, is this possible? And so I said to him, I'm like, you made all these like colored versions. It's like, that's not possible to even meet our brand thesis. Like we can't be certified organic and all these things that we're trying to be healthy wise and have these crazy designs. Like that's nearly impossible. Right. And so I was like, how did you not know that? He's like, well, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, that's your job to ask. And so that's the frustration here. I'm like, okay, theoretically, does that look cool? Sure. But it's totally unaligned with our brand as like a product offering. So yeah, it to me, like the more that I look at this, it's like a little less bad than the first time that I looked at it, but for its use case, it's horrible. Like it's not going to convert. It looks like a newsletter. It doesn't look like a high performing website at all.
Exactly. Like it doesn't look like an e-commerce website.
No.
Like at least like a popular, like if you see like the #1 e-commerce websites, this does not like model the same styles and stuff.
Not even a little.
Yes, it's different, but like it's not going to bring in conversions, which is the main point of e-commerce, conversion rate.
It feels rushed, and it also feels like a big missed opportunity because we worked out a deal with him where instead of designing multiple pages, I was just like, just make the main homepage amazing. That's what I said. I was like, we'll structure it this so that we pay for this, but make it great, and then Kadeen will build it outward from there. You can't build from this. Like there's no way. So
I'm starting from scratch.
No,
I'm going to use
as
this.
you should. So walk through the rest of it if there's anything else to walk through, and then let's go on to the next part of the branding.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on to what you said about him asking questions. If you're like an agency and you're working with clients, the #1 thing you should do is always ask questions, because us as consumers and like, as your client, we don't know what you want.
Yes.
So it's important that you ask us questions so we could tell you what you want, because we don't like the mindset you should have with, working with clients is they know nothing about what they want to do. So you have to ask them like what their brand is, like what they want to have, everything like that. You need to understand, you need to be basically in their shoes, and you'll only do that by actually asking questions.
That's the whole thing, man. I love that you mentioned that, because that's
Yeah.
your job as an agency owner. And that's honestly so often why most creative agencies fail, is because they were started by someone who's just like ultra creative and is just so used to bringing something done to life, right? And so like with our agency, I'm like the opposite. Like I'm not an ultra creative, like artsy person. And so I'm more focused on the people side. And that's why we've had clients for years on end, is because I obsess over that part. And so like, if you don't have that part figured out, this happens. Like this would have been so easily avoided through some basic questions, or even like a checklist of being like confirmation for each thing that you're doing. And honestly, another pro tip to add on to what Kaveen said is like, you almost want to be annoying. Like literally you almost want to be like over communicative, because it gives you opportunity to build a relationship. And it also makes sure that they can't come back and say you didn't do X, Y, and Z, because you're like, oh, I did. And there's a paper trail. So you're like covering your own ass and improving the quality of work all at the same time.
Exactly. So that's the one thing that was like kind of fishy. You didn't ask us any questions at all. I thought he'd be asking you more questions, me more questions, but literally, if you looked at our Slack channel, he just sent stuff without asking. I was like, what did we ask him to do this? What did we ask him to do that? Like,
We didn't. He gave me brief
communicate at all.
No, he didn't. And he gave us brief.
Yeah.
He gave me a brief private message being like, I'm starting this, but like, I assumed that was like, hey, there's gonna be questions to follow. Do you know what I mean? And instead, just like 2 days later, it's all done, and I'm like, dude, that would have been sweet if you asked me some questions.
No,
But
for real.
let's move on to the next stuff.
Yeah. So I'm surprised you worked at a branding agency, because you would know how important at least the hero section is. Like the hero section is the main part where you split 80% of your time or 80% of your time is, because that's going to bring the majority of the results.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 20% of the page, but it brings 80% of the results. Yeah. So pretty bad in general. There's no call to action at the bottom. But anyways, that's the website. Not too happy with it. Doesn't look that great, honestly. Doesn't look terrible, but doesn't look great.
I think it's the price point that we paid. Like this wasn't cheap. Like if I got this and I had paid like a few $100s, I'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? But like this is something that we paid a lot of money for. So that's the frustration.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the design. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't know what we wanted, and he was just, doing something. So I did give him some inspiration here. So here's a full list of inspiration. I also told him which parts I recorded a video explaining which parts I like
Of each.
how like the branding I wanted,
The colors even, you said.
the colors, yeah. And also talked about, specific stuff to improve on his website, like for example, his hero, and everything, the hero section. But yeah, just went over each thing. I recorded it, talked about the elements I like. This is the second design he came up with.
This one may be worse.
Honestly, this looks a little bit worse. The hero section looks a little bit worse.
Yeah, this may be worse.
Low-key, this does look worse.
Yeah,
Just let this sink in.
it just
We
looks
paid
so
thousands of
Canva-y.
dollars for this. Yes, it does. It literally looks like it's built in Canva.
Yes.
And you know why I think it actually might have been built in Canva?
Why?
Look at this thing right here.
That is a default
curve.
thing from Canva.
Because Canva, the thing is, Canva doesn't really have like a good outline feature. So sometimes you actually have to like duplicate this element and then put it over or put it underneath and just like bring it up.
Okay.
So this just looks like a duplicate of this element and doesn't actually look like an outline. Like if you look closely over here, it doesn't look like an actual like outline. It looks like it's the duplicate element of this orange thing.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but it actually looks like it was made in Canva.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
But none of the, like, this isn't even the colors that you sent. So basically, Kaveen sent a bunch of variations of colors, and we basically said that we kind of wanted to get away from the yellow and like make it more of like a tan, kind of like my hat, maybe a little
Yes.
darker. and then with
Exactly.
like bright pops of color to emphasize our characters, which we'll walk through in a moment, because that's stuff we do like.
And I remember exactly saying, I like the
Color
tan
on the
on the
box.
box. Yeah, it gives it a more natural feel. Could we use a tan color as the background instead of this orange?
We said,
And he did not. He just used bright white. And why did he use a white text? And with like I outline for this, like
he was shut off. Like by that point,
Yeah.
he was done. He was completely finished. He was like, this is over. And so that's why I didn't even argue with him. I just paid the bill and was like, okay, let's move on. But yeah, so like I think I'm excited for you guys to see the changes Kaveen makes, because I think he'll bring to life what we were trying to get done in the beginning with this. And because there's so much potential for this brand with the styles and themes that we sent over, those colors, and then our characters, which we'll walk through in a moment here. There's so much opportunity to be creative, educational, and really unique, which Kaveen will be working on to bring that to life. But this just completely missed the mark and looks like it was made in Canva. It looks very rushed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely seems like he gave up on this, probably because of everything that, like, how he viewed us. But like, yeah, I mean, he looks like a good designer too. Like, these are like actually
Great.
cool.
Yeah.
I really like these. Yeah, these are like awesome. Like this stuff, like the actual logo, how we upgraded our logo, it actually looks awesome.
Yeah. So let's walk. Okay. So you're going to go deeper into this when you do the side by side of yours.
Yeah.
Why don't we hop into the stuff we do like the logos,
Yeah.
the characters, the fonts, all that good shit. Cause I think that stuff he nailed.
Yeah.
He nailed that stuff.
But here is some of the characters, and like, man, these look so cool.
Yeah.
These are actually like really cool. These are like the things we wanted. We wanted a fun underwear brand, and this like completely portrays the story, like the story and like the branding and like the whole like feeling.
Yeah. So we these are the Johnsons. We're gonna name them and everything, and these are basically our characters that we're gonna use for content and delivering messages and all this shit. So you can see right here, Happy Johnsons. Like, click that one, go up a little bit. The 3.
Yeah.
So like that.
Yeah.
This is the kind of look and feel we're going for, sir. So very much fun, fresh, unique, etc. And these are gonna be integral parts of our entire brand. Is these characters that are basically speaking to the fact that we're helping your Johnson, right? And so it's very deliberate character choices, and the colors pop. It meshes so well. Like, this looks fantastic, and this is kind of the look and feel we're gonna bring to our website. And I also love the inclusion of we created a bad guy, which is the microplastics character as well. And so
Yeah.
we purposely created this brand in mind with our ability to create content after the fact. This is our microplastics bad guy. And so if you want to build a brand, I think it's really, really important to think about creating things that are inherently viral and interesting, either from the product itself, and that should be a massive thing, and then your branding too. Like, ideally you want both, but if you don't have at least one, it's gonna be really hard to break through. And so that's why as Kaveen and I were brainstorming this whole concept, we started from an inherently viral product that's solving a problem, and it's a very personal one that has a ton of content potential. And then we took the brand to try to like emphasize that even further. So we want to have like a strong vision, mission, etc. But then we want to have a clear, interesting, and fresh perspective on the delivery of all those messages. So this is how we're doing that.
Definitely. But yeah, like all of this, like this looks cool. Like this stuff like this is like exactly what we want. This is the branding we wanted. Like the sparkles, everything. All of this is like basically portrays what we want.
Yeah. Can we show the new logo versus the old logo?
Yeah.
So this is the
Yeah.
new logo. Basically what we did was we really modernized the approach. And so why he took this approach, which I loved, is it still keeps the exact same elements. It still clearly kind of looks like a penis and balls, but it's more of a clear face that's a lot more cartoony and fresh and fun. And it also can be used on the characters. And so that's what I loved the use of it, is it's that constant look and feel. Whereas if we had the old logo, I really like the old logo. I love its simplicity, but it wouldn't have worked with the characters. They would have looked like they would have looked like they were hurting. You know what I mean? Like they would have looked like they needed some help, and it just wouldn't work. And so this modernized version of our original design, I think, allows us to look a lot more professional and get very creative with content. And we have a ton of content ideas that are going to slap. So I think this gives us the foundation to do that from both a design perspective, from like graphics, and then also how we can carry that over to video and everything else that we do.
Yeah, but also another thing I noticed is this is supposed to be the balls, this is supposed to be the penis. The balls look way bigger than the penis, which makes sense because if you wear our underwears, your balls won't shrink.
Yes, exactly. It works. It all works.
It works. Yeah.
So I think realistically, like a lot of it I really do love. The characters are kind of the biggest thing that make me not super mad about the whole thing, because I do think that we can turn those into something very, very interesting. The mock-ups and stuff, that kind of sucks. Some of them are great. Like, I think the packaging looks fantastic. Like, open that.
Yeah, this mock-up looks nice.
That'll be sweet. And
I changed it a bit, but like the overall style.
yeah, and we have the workable file, so we can adjust it from there. But this is awesome. Like, I think this is what we'll use for an influencer pack once we get going. I have a buddy who owns a print shop, so he's already said he can help us with those. So we can send them directly to high target influencers. And like, these are more in line with what we're looking for, like the solid color, all that stuff. These are now a lot more in line with what we're looking for. And so
I'm like the logo in the corner.
exactly, I think that's pretty well exactly what I'm looking for. So these got better after some back and forth and some frustration, but these look clean. And now we're at a pretty good place. The only thing I'm really mad about, truthfully, is the website. Everything else, I really like how it came out.
For real. Yeah. Like, it just kind of sucks how we have to like pick up the pieces after like someone that was supposed to do the job and give us finished product. We always have to finish their product.
Yeah, that's the nature of running a business, though, unfortunately, is because everyone's trying to just like move on to the next thing. And until you get to the higher levels where you can pay like a mad premium, that's realistically like, that's what you're paying for. It's people don't get. Like, the quality of work can often look almost the same, but what you're paying for is the guaranteed of it working out. Or the near guarantee, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's what you're paying for as you get to the higher levels. So we're going to figure it out. I think we're at a good place. And luckily, we have your ability to web design. And so we're going to put that to use. So right after this, you're going to get back to work on that. And I'm super excited for that side-by-side comparison, because that'll basically be a web design 101 for anybody who wants to build a brand. And I think I think a lot of people will pull a ton of value from that, and they'll appreciate our website even more.
Yep, that's great.
Dope. Okay, so that's our.
Can't wait to make the website.
I'm in for that big time. But this has been a walkthrough of our branding. So now moving forward, all of our videos, all of our content on social, all of our websites, our landing page, everything's gonna match this brand. But yes, that's actually one other thing I forgot. We got to update the landing page as soon as possible to the branding as well, because now that we've released it.
Yeah.
So we'll do that when you have some time this week.
Yep.
And then we'll see all you guys tomorrow. We'll see all of you tomorrow. We'll let you know what other thing pops up and how we overcame it. Peace. So we now have branding, as you saw throughout this video, and as you've seen with the subtitles and the color grading, everything has changed to match our new brand as Happy Johnsons. So I love a lot of what's been done, but we do have some work to do. So Kaveen is working on the new website, and he will update you once that's done and do a side-by-side comparison of what he did differently and why he did it for performance. So you'll learn a ton from that. That'll be coming soon. But I got to get back to work to find the perfect manufacturer to build our healthy underwear. So I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.